This is a good one. 6-time deported gang member wanted for murder busted in Texas illegal immigration sting that nabbed 118 criminal illegal aliens. Let's get into it. Here we go. Luis Miguel Perez Miranda of El Salvador was arrested for allegedly murdering a Houston man. We're going to watch a couple of videos. Let's watch, we'll read some stories. But let's go take a peek at this bad boy. I want you to contrast these two stories. Here we go.
The Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement released new details about the murder suspect they tracked down in the Colony Ridge subdivision of Liberty County.
The agency saying the Salvadoran national illegally entered the U.S. at least 7 times before his arrest this week. Luis Miguel Perez Miranda is also said to be a member of the MS-13 gang. He has previous convictions for drug trafficking, drug possession, and was deported from the U.S. back to El Salvador in 2021. Perez Miranda is accused of stabbing a man to death in Colony Ridge. He was taken into custody hours after a manhunt and is now at the Liberty County Jail. All told, ICE said that federal and state agents arrested 118 migrants there in Colony Ridge on Monday. The agency saying those
Houston
have charges and convictions against them, including homicide, child sex abuse, and weapons and drugs offenses. In a post on social media, Governor Abbott said he and DPS troopers worked alongside Border Czar Tom Homan in this operation.
All right, so that was the facts, right? They arrested a bunch of convicts, a bunch of criminals, got them out of the community. You would think that would be a positive thing, right? Here's how mainstream media spins it. Let's watch this one.
Deputies called to investigate a murder during the immigration crackdown in Colony Ridge.
Liberty County Sheriff's Office says it arrested Luis Miguel Perez with the help of ICE. They say he's affiliated with the recently designated foreign terrorist organization MS-13. He's been deported from the country 5 times and has an active assault charge out of Maryland. And now he's accused of murdering a man, possibly a roommate, on a small road near Plum Grove.
Now, that is a short distance from Colony Ridge, where ICE says 118 people were arrested yesterday. When our Pujallodia was there yesterday, she saw a lot of activity, including several people being pulled over. Today, though, a much different sight. It was a ghost town.
Here we go.
Reporting from the area again tonight, working to bring you the impact of the operation.
We have been to multiple businesses today. A beauty shop, a supermarket, a cell phone store. All of them were empty, with no customers at all. We also haven't seen any law enforcement out here today.
Is that because this area is a known area for cartel activity? It's a known area for trafficking, humans, sex trafficking, drugs. How many of these folks are illegal in this area? It's a known thing. So why are they all hunkering down? If you don't have anything to hide from, you don't need to hunker down. If you are not a known criminal with a criminal background, wanted on charges, the odds of them looking for you are slim to none, because that's not who they're going after. They're going after murderers, child rapists, human traffickers. The list goes on of any kind of crime that could happen out there, right? That is what's happening. But these news stories lead you to believe that they're just randomly plucking people off the streets and everybody's afraid. Well, they're afraid because they got something to hide.
Empty. Not used to seeing it this empty.
The streets are silent, businesses deserted, tables and chairs vacant. Cuevas hasn't had a customer all morning. Her employees didn't show up either.
Si ellos no vienen, pues no vendo nada.
They don't come.
So the question is, has she hired criminals to work at her food truck? I don't know. We don't know the answer to these questions. We just get what ABC spins to us, which is this sob story of, if there's no customers, then I have to close down my business. Well, you got a little problem with public safety because ICE is coming in and plucking out criminals. They're not plucking out just workers at a food truck who are just, maybe illegals, but not criminals. ICE isn't going after those. Read the news stories. The beginning of this story alone kind of told you who they were going after. A bad hombre, guy that, killed somebody else, murdered somebody else. But let's keep going.
I don't sell anything. No money, no business. This is my livelihood. If this continues,
You got Mexican Coke?
I will have to sell it.
Mexican Coke, the sweet Coke.
Cuevas Taqueria has been here in Colony Ridge for 2 years. Yesterday was Socorro's day off. Ordinary until she got a call from her husband. Federal and state agents were everywhere. She said at the
Good.
time,
Y le dije yo, pues cierra el camión.
I told him to shut down the truck and lock himself in. ICE reports the arrest of a man they
Is he a criminal? Because the only reason they're going into this community and arresting people is because they're criminals. They're going after criminals. So does she have somebody hired at the food truck that's maybe murdered somebody? I don't know. But that's what I'm led to believe is if you don't have anything to hide, you don't have anything to fear from. They're not taking just normal folks trying to work and earn a living that may be in the country illegally. They're not going after them. Story after story after story indicates that.
call an MS-13 gang member who had been previously deported. According to ICE, 118 people have been arrested, but the agency hasn't answered our questions about whether those arrested were in the country illegally or how they were targeted.
Because they're too busy arresting 118 people. Why aren't they getting back to us? I don't get it. It's been a whole day and they're not responding to our query about who did you arrest? ICE led a multi-agency enforcement in Colony Ridge, north of Houston, known for its cartel activity and illegal alien population, 118 arrests. Now, who are they going after? They're going after taco truck. I enjoy a good taco truck. Love a good taco truck. You know what I mean? Just get that authentic food. But unless you got these kind of folks right here working at the taco truck, I don't think you have much to worry about. You've got criminal sexual conduct, homicide, theft, negligent manslaughter, child sexual abuse, crimes of moral turpitude, weapons offenses, and drug offenses. Those are who they're going after. They're charging those people, and they're going after people with convictions of those types of crimes. So if you got a guy, that's crimes of moral turpitude and he's running the taco truck, sayonara. Sorry, that's just how this goes. But I don't think that's happening. It doesn't look like the taco truck was that kind of operation, but it makes you're led to believe that they're just plucking everybody. We don't know. Lots of fear.
Without providing evidence, the agency posted on social media that the area is known for cartel activity and a population that is here illegally.
Porque me da miedo que...
I'm scared and afraid. People across the country have criticized what they call a poor response to illegal immigration here in Colony Ridge for years. But without more information, it's hard to tell what this operation has accomplished. But today, one impact is clear. Fear in these quiet streets and businesses.
Si yo vivo de esto y no hay nada, no puedo estar aquí nada más.
This is how I make my money. But if there's no money, I can't support myself. We have reached out to both state and federal officials to try to find out more about this operation. Is it over at this point, and are there more planned like it? We've not received any responses to our questions. ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Shocker, not getting back to you. They've got to do that due diligence where like, we reached out and we tried to confirm what the news story was, but not happening. So you can kind of see where you've got this one angle and then you've got the other angle. Hey, we're going in, we're arresting bad hombres. And then the other angle is, oh my gosh, we're filled with so much fear. And what will happen is you'll have a bunch of these missions take place, right? You'll have a bunch of these operations take place. They'll get the people out that they want. They don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the manpower to arrest everybody that's in the country illegally. They're just going after the criminals. That's who they're going after. And with as many criminals as there are in this country that have come in illegally, they're going to have their hands full, right? They're not going after the guy flipping whatever in the making tacos, making burritos, making tortillas. I love a good tortilla, right? Making nachos. Let's not forget nachos. A good beef nacho. I mean, those are solid meals. They're not going after those folks. But, there's going to be this sense of uncertainty because we don't know who they're going after. And with mainstream media just continually shoving down your throat that big blue Democrat cities, big blue Democrat states are pushing back. Gavin Newsom putting together a $50 million fund to combat Trump against going up against the illegals. It's like, you don't want the criminals out of your community? Oh, is that what you're fighting against? And they're going to say, well, it's to support our in the community. Well, what's the reality here? ICE, along with Texas National Guard and whomever else, is getting the bad guys out. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. But there is no way that mainstream media can just let that go, because then that forces you to admit, hey, maybe the 20 million people that the Biden administration let come into the United States unfettered, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And maybe, just maybe, they let in a bunch of criminals, which they did, that are now being arrested. Not that hard to figure out. Let's take a look at this article. See what else we got. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced the state authorities working with the Department of Homeland Security. Colony Ridge, a huge development known for attracting masses of illegal immigrants. Colony Ridge is being targeted today. This has been big news. You know where it hasn't been big news? Mainstream media, because they don't want to admit, yeah. Oh, those people are in our community. Oh, yeah. They're not just all docile church-going people with 14 children. Some of them are bad guys, murdering people, raping children. Yeah. Oh, can't spin that story. That's not good because it makes us look bad. Governor said Texas Department of Public Safety troopers and special agents were coordinating with Homeland Security, targeting criminals and illegal immigrants. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Of all of the illegals that have been taken out of Seattle, I don't think I've seen a single one yet that wasn't charged with some kind of child sex crime. Just a bunch of sicko, whacked out nut jobs that are in the country illegally on top of that. Get them out. Get them out. So when you say, hey, DOJ is saving taxpayers' money and ICE is deporting criminals that are in the country illegally, do you want to have illegal criminal aliens in your community? I particularly don't. And the ones that I've seen getting 86th, I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. It makes sense to me. Those people shouldn't be in our communities, but they are. And this is what Trump has said all along. Homan has said all along. We're going to target the criminal, illegal aliens, and we're going to deport them. I mean, how can you defend saying anything other than I don't see that. It's not a defensible position because they're not just willy-nilly taking people from taco stands and tossing them out. You got to go. No, you're illegal. Oh, you got to go. That is not happening. Nor do I think it will happen because there's so many criminal illegals that they've got their hands full. I don't see that. I don't see this. They're already behind in the numbers of people that they want to deport. Trump's already upset. Homan's saying we could be doing more. Well, I think you could always be doing more. But the logistics of arresting, deporting this many people, the logistics of, 10 million people, not happening. Not happening. It's going to be more than Biden deported. In the last year, I think what people don't recognize in the last year from November of 23 to November of 24, the Biden administration deported like 270,000 illegals. So, by the thousands are already happening. That is just a normal course of operations. So I think Trump's going to deport more than that. And I think he's going to deport probably more than even happened during the Barack Obama era, and he deported a bunch. Barack Obama and Big Mike getting a divorce. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments what you think about Barack and Big Mike getting a divorce. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah. Spokesman for Department of Homeland Security, however, declined to comment on the operation. They're not going to say anything. Oh, hey, we're coming. We're coming. We're going to come to arrest you. Here's where we'll be. They're not posting that on websites because you know why? A bunch of nut jobs in big blue liberal cities are already doing that. Using radio, using online social media, physically in the midst of these busts with megaphones. You don't have to say anything. You have rights. Why are you defending people that are committing crimes in your community from being deported? Why are you defending them? That's a real question that needs to be answered. Why are you defending people that are having sex with children in your community? Why are you defending them? That's a real question. It needs to be answered, right? Local outlet ABC-13 reported that officials at nearby Liberty County Sheriff's Office further confirmed that operations were underway. And that's all they're going to say, right? That's all that they're going to say. So Homan recently announced that Trump's first month in the Oval Office, ICE arrested 21,000 illegal aliens. A good number, but not a huge number. It's a targeted number. Criminals getting tossed. And there's so many of them in the country that they're going after the worst. That's why every single one that you see right now has just these horrific crimes behind them, because they're going in order of terrible crimes, right? Oh, you banged a 3-year-old boy. Interesting. All right, out you go. Gotta go. Bye-bye. I'm happy with the numbers, he said, but I'm not going to be satisfied until every criminal illegal gang member, every criminal alien, every Tren de Aragua gang member is eradicated from this country, and we've sent their asses to Gitmo, where they belong. I mean, that's the guy you want defending your border. Right? I mean, honestly, that is who you want to have defending your border. You don't want the Biden administration, who is literally launching lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit against Greg Abbott along the southern border because he was trying to keep the criminal illegal aliens out. Do you remember all those lawsuits that were happening? In the Biden administration, they'd win one every here and there, but they're like, nah, you can't have the razor wire up. It's making it too difficult for Customs and Border Protection to do their job. And their job at the time, and I went down and watched what was happening. Customs and Border Protection under the Biden administration was basically an Uber service for the illegals to come across the river, to come across the Texas border, to come across the United States border, into the United States, and then CBP would give them a ride, give them an Uber ride to the nearest migrant shelter, and then they'd give them a ride, give them money to get a ride. They'd bus them to wherever they wanted to go. You want to go to Denver? You want to go to San Fran? You want to go to DC? You want to go to Chicago? You want to go to New York? That's what these states had to do. They shipped them out. Let's Go Brandon Johnson got how many thousand in Chicago? And he got to the point where he said, I don't know what to do. You know, Eric Adams in New York City, mayor of New York City, he got in hot trouble with his party, Democratic Party, because he wasn't being a good Democrat. He wasn't being a good boy. And he said things like, you know what? There's too many illegals being let across the border. And they said, oh, you can't say that. No. Be a good boy, shut the F up, and take in all these illegals. And he said no. And what happened to him? Got indicted. Yeah, there's some real politics going on. Just some crazy stuff. Hey, let's take his charges off, and we're just going to keep on moving. Going to have a little meeting over here. Just a lot of stuff happening. Meanwhile, you've got Homan just going in, arresting criminals. Until I see story after story after story of ICE just arresting normal folks, trying to make a living, trying to do their thing, that don't have a criminal background, until I start to see those stories, this is what I'm going with, because this is what I'm seeing. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.